fuck it, fool.
Fuck Jar.
Well, I'm not from there, fool.
Well, say it again, fool.
Fool, I'm not from there, dog.
Say it again, fool.
Fuck Jar, fool. Are you happy, fool?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Alright, fool. I'm not from there, dog.
Alright. You gonna stand up? You gonna stand up?
Why, fool? I don't gotta fight you, dog. I don't beef with you.
Fuck Jar, homie.
Well, I'm not
Anyone
from
that
there,
used
fool.
to be from Jar.
I was never from
Once
there.
a bitch, always a bitch, homie.
I was never from
Fuck
there,
your
fool.
mindset. You ain't a real G, homie.
Hey, fool. Straight up, fool.
Straight up what, fool?
I'll catch a bit.
I'm the real you happy fool. The fool that is not from Jar. I'm not from there, fool.
This big happy, and I gave the world the fuck Jar video. Well, that day I had just woke up. I remember I came out to smoke, and there was this guy sitting across the street.
I had a restraining order on my baby mama and I had a GPS. So I was waiting for her on the other side of the street because I had to be fucking, how far? You have to be like 100 yards away from their house and shit. And I had a restraining order because we got into some problems.
And I remember at the time everybody was telling me like, hey, there's some fool that used to be from Jar, he kicks it right here, this and that. So in my head I'm like, how the fuck you gonna kick it here if you were out there disrespecting me at one point?
And I was waiting for her to roll through, and this fool was just across the fucking the street. He was like just fucking looking at me, walking back and forth, staring at me and shit.
I started picking on this guy, and I was just staring at him. He didn't want to look at me until he looked at me.
And I was just like, what the fuck is up with this fool? Like, you know, everybody was just chilling. Like, I was just sitting down, drinking a beer. Like, nobody was really wanting to fucking start problems, and this was just fucking willing to start problems and shit. So I told him something first. I'm the one that told him something. I'm like, what, fool?
I took it as my window of opportunity, and I started tripping on him.
And he comes yelling, fuck Jar, fool, fuck Jar. And I was like, I'm not from Jar, fool. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's your beef, dog. And what's it called? Everybody was just like, what the fuck? Because everybody knew I wasn't from Jar, so everybody was just like, what the fuck? Why is this fool tripping like that?
He said fuck Jar before the video even started. That's when I told my homie, because I knew he was gonna go back over there and tell everybody like, oh nah, I didn't say it, this and that.
But pretty much like one of his homies was fucking started like recording and shit, because this fool told him. I told him that I wasn't from there.
So I told my homie like, hey fool, pull out your phone and record this bitch saying this. And that's where the video starts with say it again, fool.
And I was just like, like this motherfucker, like, why the fuck you gotta record me? Like, that's some fucking net banging shit. Like, you don't record shit like that you do and put it on the internet. Like, that's net banging and shit. And this fool, he pretty much told his homie to record, and that's when he started walking back. And pretty much I told him, I'm not from Jar, fool. I'm not from there. And I told him who I was and shit. And this fool fucking he just said that I was from there, but I don't know, he was just tripping. He was on a sick one. I think he was twacked out, honestly, like, because this fool was just like looking at me so fucking like with so much anger, like if I did something to him. But I was just like, fuck it, the beef, I don't care about it.
We don't even beef it, to be honest. I already beat him up once. I have no hate for the guy no more.
I don't care about him. I don't care what he does, but if they keep trying to do something to me, I'm keep trying to defend myself. You know?
I mean, if he wants to get down, we can do it again. I'll give him his shot at getting his get backs, but I mean, he's a bum, tweaker, fucking Richard Ramirez looking ass.
And those fools didn't really care about it either. What's it called? Only a couple of them did. Those fools from Jar, like only a couple of them tripped, but like not all of them. Like they were just like, like that fool's whack, like, you know, like they know what's up already.
We didn't get down that same day. He was too scared. He had to go through a whole little training camp and try to get ready, but we ended up getting down like a month later. He was sitting down in that same curb and I was across the street smoking again. And I remember my little homie came up to me telling me that fool was tripping on him because somebody had slashed him in the park and he was over here trying to press everybody like, hey, who slashed me, who slashed me? So I told my little homie like, hey, fool, go tell him I slashed him. Tell him that you found out who it was and tell him it was me. So my little homie went over there and he told him like, hey, I found out who slashed you, it was my homie. So then he came over here like, hey, do we beef it? And I was like, fool, you're a bitch. And he was like, well, I'll get down with you or whatever. And I was like, are you sure? And I started walking up to him and yeah, I just took flight on him and I beat his ass. I remember him like fucking gurgling under me saying, I can't breathe. Like, no shit, motherfucker, we're fighting. This is the whole point.
I don't think I ranked it because I wasn't from there. So I just think I did make myself look bad because I let that fool press me like that. Yeah, I did. But if he tries to do it now, I'll beat his ass. Like any day.
I feel like it's a perfect example of how this world works and how everybody chooses to support a bitch opposed to somebody who actually has been through some real shit and kept it solid throughout whatever they went through.
Being a meme feels good, dude. I want to thank that fool for doing that shit. I don't give a fuck, honestly.
I'm not talking about just me, but in general, like rappers in general, how other rappers can come out from ratting and giving full-on names.
Like, a lot of people say that if I'm embarrassed of the video, I'm not embarrassed. Why would I be embarrassed? Why would I be embarrassed of something that got me, that did me good, you know?
And people will look the other way. The same thing with this guy. Like, how do you take pride in being a bitch and everybody just automatically ran with it? Like, what the fuck? Where do they do that at?
Fuck jar. Say fuck jar, fool.
I had clients at work recognize me, and what's it called? Sometimes I have fools tell me that I have some fools that message me and they're like, oh, like, I'm your #1 fan, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, it's just a trip, you know? Like how that video it did some positive to me. It didn't do no negative, you know? Nothing negative came from that video besides a couple fights that I got in, but it doesn't matter, you know? It doesn't matter now.
Oh, it's that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fuck her. He's more like a Takashi 6ix9ine. Fuck her.
Would I fight him again? Hell yeah, I'd fight him again if the price was right, you know? I mean, like I said, I already beat this guy up once before, so I mean, I don't have nothing to prove, not to you guys, not to anybody.
The fools from Jar, they think, what they think about it is that they don't care, you know? They don't care about them. They're not worried about them. They're just out, you know, like doing their own thing, you know. After the video, they pretty much they confronted me about it, and I told them, yeah, I did. There was a video of it. Why am I gonna lie about it? But everybody was telling me about it, like, oh, you got posted, fool, you got posted, like when they first posted it. And I didn't really care much about it, you know? I wasn't really much into social media back then.
The video was released like 6 years ago, give or take, but I mean, it was never intentional. I just remember the video was for us, the homies, you know, like, just because I know this was gonna go back and say, nah, I didn't say it. They tried to make me say it. And sure thing, he went over there, he talked to some of those fools from Jar, and they got at me, and they're like, hey, well, did this fool say it or not? Because he's over here saying he didn't say it.
It wasn't posted right away. It got posted because out of like anger, they had a grudge on me because I fought his homie and I beat him up. So they had a grudge and they wanted to post that video to make me look bad, I guess. And I didn't care much about it, you know? I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna have to get in fights now. But they didn't post it right away. But to me, if you ask me, that's some net banging shit. You know, like them sharing that video on the internet.
Do I think I'm a villain? I think in most people's eyes I am, but I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody could relate to growing up and having some bully in their life, you know what I mean? And life is like that. Life is gonna hit you, and it's all on you, how you're gonna take it, how you're gonna come back from it. Like this guy, obviously, he chose to just be a bitch and take pride in being a bitch, obviously. And I mean, I didn't take hits like that and just stay down, and I got up, and this is where I'm at now.
Rancors, when somebody is a rancor is when somebody is from somewhere and they say that they're not from there, you know? Like, I wasn't from JAR, so I didn't rank it. I mean, I did made myself look bad, you know? Everybody was telling me that I made myself look bad, I should have defended myself. But even if I did try to defend myself, he was there with all his homies, they would have just jumped me. Like, you know? They won't do a fair fight.
I should get a little more recognition than that bitch. I mean, his numbers went up crazy. Like, what the fuck? This was a bitch online way, like on video. Like, how do you do that way? Like, I know everybody watching lives in some sort of community way that shit doesn't slide. Like, why does it slide today? Like, just how 6ix9ine can still rap. How can this fool still be out here and fucking walking around like his shit don't stink?
How does it feel to be a legendary fool? It feels good. You don't even know, like I have fools message me and tell me that video is never gonna get old and it's always gonna be funny, and it feels good to put a smile on somebody's face, you know? Somebody could be having a bad day and they see that video and they'll laugh at it. Like, I don't mind, you know, I don't care. It's just fucking video to make people laugh.
Alright, fool, I'm not from there, dog.
Alright, you gonna stand up?
My hairstyle, I like having long hair. I've always been a long hair dude. It's just like, I feel like if you have short hair, the cops look at you, you know? If you have long hair, the cops won't look at you. Cause they're looking for fucking people, you know, that are fucking up.
All I remember is stories of he used to be from JAR or he was from JAR. To me, that's why I said it, once a bitch, always a bitch.
You know, I didn't really care about it much because I wasn't from JAR, so it didn't really matter to me.
And he was like, well, I'm not from there, that's old shit. So I was like, so you're not from there or that's old shit, you know? Like, to me, old shit is you were from there.
I wasn't from there, so I just think I did make myself look bad because I let that fool press me like that. Yeah, I did.
You're not from there is you never were, whatever. So I took it as he used to be by him saying, that's old shit. So I was like, fuck it, like fuck anyone that used to be from JAR, you know? Like, my whole point was just to get him to know that he's a bitch. And that way he ended up saying fuck JAR. If this fool pulled up on me right now, what would I do? He probably wouldn't pull up, to be honest. So I probably wouldn't have to do anything. And I mean, considering the way the first fight went, I doubt he's gonna even think about pulling up on me. I don't know if you've seen his broken teeth, but these hands fucking, they hurt,
Damn, fool. Memories. Memories, my G. If Big Happy pulled up on me right now, this is how I catch the fade with them.
Fool.
Fuck JAR.
Well, I'm not from there, fool.
Well, say it again, fool.
Fool, I'm not from there.
Say it again, fool.
Fuck JAR, fool. Are you happy, fool?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Fuck JAR, fool. Are you happy, fool?
Yeah, I'm happy. Fuck JAR.
Well, I'm not from there, fool.
Well, say it again, fool.
Fool, I'm not from there, dog.
Say it again, fool.
Fuck JAR, fool. Are you happy, fool?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Alright, fool. I'm not from there, dog.
Alright,
I just
you gonna stand up?
fool.
You gonna stand up?
Alright, fool. I don't know. Are you, dog? I don't beat you with you.
Fuck JAR, homie.
I'm not
Anyone that used to be from Jar.